Bally Lost World. She just bought this on eBay from a guy in Rhode Island. The MPU board was worked on by pin logic guy Callahan. He did some work, but in my opinion he didn't do enough work on the board. First off, the game didn't turn on when she bought it, or it turned on for a while and then died. First off, I measured for 5 volts and at the test point here, and it was like 2 volts. And if you look at the connector, maybe a little hard to see, but the pins, man, they are all green. I can see every one of them is green. So this whole thing needs to be repinned with new 0.100s. But the main thing is, when he was working on the board, why didn't he replace the sockets? I mean, come on, look at this one. Look at this. It comes right out with no problem. Look, it's a closed frame auget. The sockets are always junk. And it comes right out with my finger. And look, how about this one? Same thing. Look at this. I don't even have to pull. I mean, it comes right out. Come on. Really? Really? We're not going to replace the sockets? What? You're kidding me, right? Oh, man. Another thing, too, is over here on the solenoid driver board, we need to do some standard modifications here because TP1 should measure 5 volts, which it did, 5.15. But this one right here, right below it, measured like 4 volts. Those need to be the same, so we need to do our little modifications to this board. Also, when we go down here to the rectifier board, you can see we got burnt pins on this guy. So pull that out. Look, you know, really, can you sell a game like this and expect it to work for any length of time? I don't think so. So from the looks of it, and according to the receipt, he did do some bead blasting, but you know, the corrosion's coming back. You just can't bead blast it and not coat it with anything. I use a little Krylon, just a light coating of Krylon Crystal Clear so the corrosion doesn't come back. Otherwise it will come back. And notice he replaced a bunch of sockets. He replaced this one, and this one, yet he didn't do the ROMs. See that pin? How the hook is, it's not how it's supposed to look. It's all green and corroded, and it's got a piece broken off. All these pins are going to have to be replaced. This is solenoid driver board. I don't know if you can see it, but this pin here, they have little concentric circles around the solder joints. That means they're cracked. So we got to resolder those, and then we got to do our standard modifications on the back of this board. Make it more reliable. Also modify that little tiny fuse clip to use the large 3AG fuse. Move the top fuse clip so we can use a longer 3AG fuse. On the back, we tied the two 5-volt test points together, tied the negative filter cap for the high voltage to ground, tied the 12-volt filter cap negative lead to ground, and resoldered the header pins. So this guy, solenoid driver board, is ready to go back in. So we got display issues here. Look at that. Holy hell. Not to mention this one that's freaking out, but look at this. It's supposed to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'd say there's a problem. Lots of cracked solder joints on this score display. Male headers, you can see the little concentric circles around the solder joints. Gotta fix that, resolder them. Displays are now operating correctly, and it wasn't just from resoldering the pins. What I had to do is go over to this connector on the MPU board, and just like I had to repin this one with every new pin, this one really needed it too. What I did though, and you can see here's all the leftover pins from the first connector I did, all the crusty little rusty things. These ones I actually just cleaned. Not the male pins either, but the female. I actually pulled each one out and cleaned it and put it back in. They were a little tarnished. Probably should have been replaced, but it's just there's a million pins and I wanted to be here another 2 hours doing that. So I took a slightly shorter approach. I hope that works out. It seems to be working good, but we'll play test it and see. Interesting thing, I dialed back the display voltage on the solenoid driver board using the pot in here down to about 175 volts, but I lost one of my displays. Now watch this. As I turn the voltage up, what happens to this fourth player display? Watch this. If I can get my big finger on it. Look at this. As I bring the voltage up, the display comes back in, and as I bring the voltage down, the display goes out. So that means that that display, here I'll bring it back up so we can see it, is having some issues. Big surprise, but bring it up just enough. Keep the display voltage as low as possible. Also put a remote battery pack in. You can see Callahan, he doesn't like 5101 RAMs, so he always puts in this little adapter board.
Like it was really coming down.
Like it was pulling one way?
Normal, but I don't know.
It's playing good though. Let me see, put it in the... It's playing nice.